Hey there, movie buffs. Welcome welcome back to Quinn's Movie Review Corner. This is Sophie Rain. She's currently suckling on my finger again. This is what she does right in between my, I don't know what that's called. There's that pressure point there, but the webbing in between the fingers, that's the only thing I can think of. My wife is texting me right now. She's in the other room, by the way. So, we are going to be reviewing the movie Predator from 1987. The reason we are going to be doing that is because I have actually never seen it until now. I knew a bunch of references. I knew the premise. I understood what that the the aliens don't like weapons, or kind of like on that Robot Chicken. There was a little scene on Robot Chicken that I thought of when I watched the movie for the first time. So we have Apollo Creed from the Rocky series, and we have Rocky Balboa, but in Creed 2 and Creed obviously is not in those ones, but he's also Chubbs from Happy Gilmore. If you don't know who Apollo Creed is from Rocky 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. No. Yeah. A little bit, yeah, 4. A little bit of 5. Just for flashbacks and whatnot. I wasn't a huge fan of Rocky 5, but, I mean, then again, Rocky 1 did have a lot of dead air moments in it. Just walking down the street, bouncing a ball, and that's like half the movie. Obviously, Arnold Schwarzenegger, as he actually had a lot more speaking role, a bigger speaking role than I thought that he would, because usually he doesn't. Jesse Ventura, oh my gosh, yes, Jesse Ventura, WWF at that point. No, yeah, WWF before, and then there was Bill Duke. He was on a bunch of movies from the 80s and 90s. There was this guy, Richard Chavez. He was Poncho, and he looked exactly like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He looked exactly alike. Did I wake you up? Sorry. So, the movie is, if you haven't seen it, it's about time to see it, because it was in 1987. I was 1 year old, and I can't believe that I've waited this long to watch it. And I was going through, I go to the Exchange a lot in my hometown, and obviously you can probably tell there's a lot of prices on the movies behind me. I get it secondhand, which is, I can't afford all these movies brand new in the, off the shelf at Walmart or something. So I had $100 burning a hole in my pocket, and I was looking, okay, maybe some box sets. I got this Fast and the Furious here. That was the same day. That was $30, and then I got the Predators, 4 movies, and I just assumed Predators, Predators 2, Predators 3, Predators 4. Nope. It goes Predator, Predator 2, Predators, and The Predator. And then Alien vs. Predator. I haven't seen 3, 4, or 4.5, 5. But isn't that weird? Predator, Predator 2, Predators, The Predator. Oh. That's just like Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Halloween 4, Halloween H2O. Or the Okay, it's called Final Destination. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Final Destination. 6. Just like Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, um, Xbox. I don't know what the new one is. Just it's so weird, so weird. I went on a little bit of a rant there. Sorry. Where was I? Yes, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's father is on this movie. They look so similar. It's so freaky. So they're off in some jungle. I was assuming um, Vietnam just because I mean it was a '80s movie. That's where Rambo. Rambo 1. He was in like Washington or something like that. But Rambo 2 and 3 and whatever, he went to back to Vietnam. So I was just assuming because it's an '80s movie that's where they would go. But I actually looked it up because it doesn't really say. And the local there spoke Spanish, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's like Central Mexico or one of those, the jungles, or maybe South America, the Amazon something. And I looked it up. Where was the Predator movie based in? Like where locationally, physically, whatever. It was like some place in freaking California. I'm like, no, not where was it filmed? Where did it happen? Venezuela. Okay, well, and then this is Arnold Schwarzenegger was talking about it was in Venezuela jungle when he was filming. I'm like, no. It took me like 5 searches, like very, very, very specific in the plot of Predators. Where did this take place? And it was South America jungle. Very, very vague. Yeah, that right. They have a Native American guy as a tracker, which was kind of interesting to watch. I'm like, is this really something that's going to be happening? But apparently it was. So they Apollo Creed and Arnold Schwarzenegger meet, and they do that thing where they clap hands and they're trying to arm wrestle in the air. I've seen the just that one little part where they do that. I didn't even realize it was Apollo Creed that was on the other side of that. You'll always see Arnold Schwarzenegger in the pictures, but yeah, they meet. They were apparently in the army or military together, and they're going to save some people that were over some kind of a border that they're having a dispute with. And it's basically like, we're going to drop you in. It's kind of like the Expendables. I've never seen it. I haven't. I bought it. Expendables 1 and 2. Actually, they're both. No. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Rambo, Sylvester Stallone, are both in that one as well. But it's kind of like, we're going to drop you in, and like Triple X. Remember that on Triple X where they drop them in behind enemy lines without anybody's knowledge, and if you get caught, it's your own fault. We have no idea that you're even there. So it's kind of like Black Hawk Down as well, a little bit, but they knew that. Or Suicide Squad type of a thing. That's kind of the premise of the movie. What they're going in for, and there's the comic relief guy is hilarious. He he does a lot of very, very jokes that are not good for YouTube. but I laughed hysterically. They end up finding the plane crash, helicopter crash. You're gonna suck on my finger again. All right. She does this all the time. So they find the helicopter, and then they find some people that are skinned alive, hanging upside down. Then they find a camp that they assume is where the people that skinned them alive, and they attack the camp. It's very interesting how they do it. It's very systematic, very military, obviously. It's a very good movie, very action packed. But the CGI, I mean, it is 1987. I got to remember that because I went from The Great Wall was the movie that I watched right before this one, and I'm like, are they being serious right now? Like the CGI for the thing, it's like there's lines, and it's the outline of a humanoid creature that obviously it's an alien. Kind of like, I guess they come around every so often when it's hot and when there's a lot of conflict. So they feed off of that. They kill a bunch of people and collect some bones and go back home. So it's kind of like when a dentist from America wants to hunt an elephant or something like that. They have to go to the place where they are and hunt an elephant or hunt people. So the CGI is hilarious if you don't know. And it's interesting that my nephew, who's 7 years old now, has watched this movie more times. He watched it before I did, and he's talking about like get to the chop, and I don't get these references, and I have these probably could be potentially thousands of movies behind me, and that's what I've been doing with this. You know how we haven't been doing no social interactions or anything like that. These are my social interactions, and Fortnite. um, so yeah, they find a Hispanic woman, because they don't tell where they're from, so you can't really say a nationality. Um, so or Latina. Um, so they find her. They try to. Um, I don't know why, but they take her with it. They kill every single other person that's there except for her. Maybe it's because she's a woman. Maybe it's because she looked weak. Maybe it's because I don't know, but they saved her. And they took her, and they were headed somewhere to get to pick up, for them to get picked up. And one at a time, they start getting picked off. Just like on. Why am I thinking of Doom? Anyways, yeah, another rock movie. Dwayne Johnson. It was an amazing game back in the 90s. Um, Windows 95. Who remembers that? I'm aging myself, I know. DSL. So, I love. Thinking about 1987, I mean, yes, I was one, but thinking back, it probably was. Th- when you're I don't know, teen or even 20s, 30s, 40s, you're watching a movie with these lines and the outline of a creature, you might have thought, wow, this is amazing, because we had like Commodore 64s and the 3.5 inch floppy disks to hold 1 megabyte of 1 megabyte of information, and then you had to, if you put it from one computer into another, then you had to reformat it. If you reformatted it, it'd be wiped out, and you would have no information on it whatsoever. And that was a big mode of contention with me, because I would take it from my mom's house. We didn't have a printer, so I had to walk to the library. Yes, this is the '90s, and yet, well, they were smaller, um, but they still had floppy disks, and if you just touched the shiny part, all the information would be gone. It was that sensitive. Um, yeah, as I was saying, the CGI might have been mind blowing to the people back in the '80s. So, um, yeah, they start getting picked off. Um, it's interesting when they're skinned alive. The people at the beginning, they still have their heads, but once the predator started, um, she's just staring at my shirt. Once he started to kill them, kill the other people off, he started ripping their heads off and taking out their spinal column, which is crazy. And then he took some kind of weird thing and sprayed it off to make everything what like um, cured their skull, basically. Maybe it was just the special ones. I don't know. But Jesse Ventura, he ends up getting shot with one of these weapons, um, and it's so. I'm I'm not saying it's funny, because obviously you don't want a character to die, but his best friend, the Bill Duke, his name is Mac. Mac on the movie. He was best friends with Jesse Ventura, who is Blaine. I should remember that, because he's Blaine is a character on Glee, and my wife is obsessed with Glee. So Blaine gets killed, and Mac lifts up the whatever thing is covering his face, and every single time there's a corpse on I feel like Doctor Evil with the cat. Um, Whenever there's a corpse on a movie, you pay very, very, very close attention to to see if they move. And yes, he did. His eyes like fluttered, and I laughed so hard. I even recorded it with my phone to show my wife later, and it reminded me just now. I was just thinking of it. It reminds me of Oscar on The Office with what was the movie? Midnight? No. Project? No. What the heck was that movie? It was the movie that he made with Detective Scarn, and anyways, he kills Oscar in the movie, and it's just like, and then he starts blinking. Speaking of movies on The Office, who also wanted to watch that movie with Floris Leachman and Jack Black? I saw that with Andy and Pam and Jim watching the movie on Andy's computer at lunchtime, and I'm like, I looked it up. I was like, Florence Leachman, Jack Black movie, The Office. Fake. Come on. Come on. Who else wanted to watch that movie? It's supposed to be Nicole Kidman, and then with a rewrite. Where was I? I don't even know. Jesse Ventura. Blaine. Eyes moving. Yes. So, here's something really funny I just thought of just now. Blaine is freaking out because his best friend, no, Duke, is freaking out because his best friend Blaine just died. And what is Arnold Schwarzenegger's character's name? Dutch. 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 So Dutch says, okay, everybody go to sleep except for you. You take first watch. Just had a huge life-altering thing happen to where this creature killed your best friend. Your best friend in life. And you would think that Dutch would have some sympathy and say, just, take a rest. No, do your job. Do your job. Yeah, so they get picked off one by one. Obviously, that's the movie. You probably have seen it many, many, many times, but I have never seen it before, except for this one time. So yeah, just Dutch and what's her name on the movie? The Anna. She's like seventh in the. I thought she would be like second because she was one of the survivors. Anyways, Dutch and Anna are the only ones to survive. He ends up killing the Predator, and the Predator self-destructs. Knocks down so many trees in this rainforest, and yet Dutch lives. He's like 3 feet away from him, but these trees that have been there for hundreds and hundreds of years. Anyways, that's beside the point. She is completely asleep. That's awesome. So, yeah, it's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. And I will be coming out with a battery died. Then I sat back down and I filmed the outro and everything, and she's sucking my fingers again, and ends up the microphone was off. So I just talked for like not even like 5 minutes for to nothing except for her, to her. I even said something to her and she went, which made me laugh. But I did say something kind of funny. I said the battery died, and I realized that I live in a house with electricity. Obviously, there's electricity to these lights, and I probably should set up some kind of a system, like an extension cord, to where this doesn't happen anymore, because it does happen quite frequently. Batteries don't last on this camera at all, but maybe when I finally get monetized, then I'll be able to upgrade my camera or whatever, lighting and stuff. But so to wrap up, CGI was hilarious. I laughed. My wife laughed. The plot was good. I liked the different, like even back in the day, it was original. an alien coming down to Earth, and um, basically the movie Surviving the Game with Gary Busey and Ice Cube. Ice T. Ice T. I always do that. And Ice T from SVU. Look it up. It's hilarious. Like his completely different dreadlocks, scars all over his back from the fire. They hunt him. Kind of the same premise, except it's one person hunting a bunch of people. Well, actually, one alien hunting a bunch of people, um, or one predator, because there's another series on aliens, and then aliens versus predator. So to that, the CGI, the plot, the acting was pretty good, except for Jesse Ventura's mishap with his blinking. I will tell you this: my sister-in-law was in college, and this was before me and my wife were married. Um, so she was just my wife's sister's partner, and she was in college, and she was doing like different uh, things. It was funny that like we did. I was always the actor in it. Um, so we did some kind of a. This one was a radio station type of a thing, and it was I was supposed to be asleep, and no matter what they did, I wouldn't wake up unless they put on the radio to whatever the station was. And the funniest thing is, like, her sister threw water in my face, on in my eyes, like, and there was a couple of takes I was like that kind of a thing. But I don't know how, but I did not blink with water being thrown on me, and I was like, I didn't react, and yet this person that's an actor actually then goes on to be the governor of Minnesota. Freaking Jesse Ventura goes, "Are we still rolling? Okay, we're still rolling." So the acting was hilarious. Other than that, I would say the acting was actually pretty good. I enjoyed the movie. Um, it was enjoyable, and I will be putting out a Predator 2 movie review pretty soon. I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it, and I hope you like and subscribe and comment and share and all that kind of stuff so I can get more than 6 subscribers. But I appreciate the 6 that I have.